Hi, it's Robert Ty with O'Regan's Nissan in Dartmouth. Today I'm going to give you a little bit of a look at the new refresh on the 2019 Nissan Murano. This is an absolutely gorgeous vehicle to begin with, but the refresh has really stepped it up. Let's have a look at this. I've got this in a beautiful deep blue pearl, and this is the SL trim level. So this is got a ton of features to it. Let's check it out. So this gorgeous vehicle here still has all the beautiful lines that the Murano has been known for quite some time now. I've got this in a beautiful deep blue pearl. We'll get a better look at the color as soon as we loop around to the other side. We've got a little bit of a change in the front here in the grille and the headlights and the way everything is designed. Really nice touch on it, nice accents. Everything really stands out. You see here as we come along the side, really nice view on it. Stands out against the cityscape. Come around the back. Like I said, we've got the SL trim level. We see that there. And it really jumps. There's that color. Such a vibrant looking blue. This really is a magnificent vehicle. The sun catches it beautifully. There's a really nice reflection off of it, metallic fleck into it. Chrome accents are a really nice touch on it. And the beautifully crafted 20-inch wheels really accent the vehicle nicely. We've got LED headlights as well as LED daytime running lights. Sensors in the front and back for when we're backing up or parking, or if we're getting too close to something. We're going to have a look on the inside and check out some of the features on this. This is a stunning SUV. As I look in the very spacious back of this, there's a ton of room back here. I've got a spare tire underneath this piece here in the center, as well as the subwoofer for the Bose premium sound system that comes in this. Over on the right side, we've got a little bit of a hidden storage that has our jack and tire iron. And on the opposite side is purely some hidden storage. So it gives you a little bit of a room to tuck some things away so that you have them there. Nice and easy to put the back seats down. All I got to do is grab the handle over here and get the pull, and down goes the seats. I can do that with each seat, and it gives me a lot more room for storing cargo. Looking in the back seat, I can see I've got lots of room for my passengers to be good and comfortable. Heated rear seats. Now we've got two USB types in this. This is relatively new for Nissan. We've got our traditional USB port over here, but we have a Type-C USB port here. So Type-C is a little bit different. It's going to charge faster if you're connected to there. The ports in the back are strictly for charging, where the two in the front, which are the same two ports, will also interact with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, just to give you an idea, I have an iPhone here. So on one end of my cord, I have my traditional Lightning cord. However, on the other end, I have my Type-C adapter. A lot of Android phones come with this type of connector for their phone anyway, but all I do is plug that into there and then just plug the other end into my phone. So it's a great option on this, especially if you're looking for a quick charge. These cords are very inexpensive, so I typically keep one in most of my vehicles anyway. We're going to have a look in the front and see what features are here, because as I said, this is a very feature-rich vehicle. So before I hop in the vehicle, I've got my key fob here. There are 5 buttons on the key fob. I can see that I've got my panic button down here. To hold this button, we'll open or close the power lift gate. Now with the power lift gate, I can come around and using kick motion activation, I can give a kick in underneath there, and away it goes. That closes the hatch, hands free. My key fob will do the same thing. I've also got my unlock and lock right there on the key fob, but I have built-in factory remote start as well. So to work that, I'm going to hit the lock button and then hold the top button for 5 seconds. Away it goes. That auto starts my vehicle from up to 200 feet away. It will run for up to 10 minutes. Now, I do do still need to physically engage the vehicle when I get in. So before I engage the vehicle, I'm going to show one other thing here. There is an intelligent key system. So there's a button similar to this on the front two doors. As long as I have my key fob on me, I'll walk up, push it once, that will unlock just the door that I'm at. If I push it a second time, that unlocks the entire vehicle. From there, I'm going to hop in. I'm going to turn my radio down. And as I mentioned, I still need to engage the vehicle, which it tells me on the screen, despite it running, it tells me I need to put my foot on the brake and then push the start button, and then everything is fully engaged. We're going to check out the features on this now. So in the center, I've got a really nice sized center console, deep storage in it. I do have a 12-volt power port available right here, and spots to feed cords out if I want to put an adapter into there. I've got heated front seats as well as heated rear seats. As I move up, again, there's those two USB ports. I have another 12-volt power port there, but as I mentioned, I have my auxiliary port, a traditional USB port, and another Type-C port. Now these ports will interact with the system. They will launch Apple CarPlay or Android Auto if you have those features on your phone. Our start button is over here. We've got our gear shift with the Xtronic shifting, so you can manually shift up and down if needed. As we move up, I've got my climate control system. So I have dual climate control here. All I got to do is push the button and right away I see the temperature changes. When I'm on my own, I just want everything set to my side. When it's on auto, it's automatically going to determine where your airflow is going and how high the fan is going. It's going to work as hard as it can to get you to the temperature that you've got set as fast as possible, whether it's warm air or cold air coming out. If you want to take charge, you can change your fan speed here and instantly it turns off auto. You can also change where your airflow is right here using the mode button. So you see I've got a few different options there. If I want strictly for the windshield, I gotta hit this button down here. My rear defrost is right there, which will also activate the heated side mirrors. Now with your intelligent climate control system, and you do have a heated steering wheel on this, which we'll get to in a moment, if you remote start your vehicle and it's below 3 degrees Celsius and the engine is cold, regardless of what everything is set for here on your climate control, it's going to focus all the air onto the windshield and the two front side windows. From there, it's also going to turn on the rear defrost, which will activate the heated side mirrors, and it's going to turn on the heated steering wheel. And if I left my heated seat in an on position, it will start warming that as well, all from the remote start under those conditions that I mentioned. As I move up, I see a really nice 8-inch touchscreen display. It's very responsive, so it gives me lots of options. I can customize my sound settings as I have with this one. Speed sensitivity volume is a big thing, so that as you go from residential to highway driving, it's automatically going to adjust your volume for you while you drive. You can set your clock in here, your connections. So under connections, this is where I would go to add a phone or any Bluetooth enabled device. Now we notice up top it says Wi-Fi. This is looking for nearby Wi-Fi connections. As it finds them, if I connect to a Wi-Fi, from there, it's going to allow the system to automatically update itself anytime that Nissan puts out a system software update. The other thing about the Wi-Fi connection is you do have a navigation system with this vehicle. 2019, Nissan got rid of the SD card that was running the navigation system. So now, very much like our Rogue, with the navigation system, you can go on. If I go to settings and then hit info, and I go over a screen and go to system information and map update. If I'm connected to a Wi-Fi connection, I can go in through update by Wi-Fi. It's not going to find anything because I'm not connected, but it would allow me to pull in a free update 3 to 5 times a year whenever Nissan makes them available. So previously, where you would have had to buy a new SD card and it could be a little costly and you'd only want to do it every few years, you can get updated maps up to 5 times a year from Nissan for free with the new setup. It's a great feature and you're always up to date on your maps. I have back buttons here and over there with the physical back button, so you can see the differences there. Now, as I mentioned, we do have navigation. It's super simple to use. All I got to do is go into my destination. If I know where I'm going, I can go to street address. I can go to points of interest, which will bring up anything that's close by. If I'm going to enter a home location, I typically recommend all of my customers do not enter your home. Put something nearby. You don't want somebody stealing your vehicle and then going from there to your house using your own vehicle. We hope it never happens, but as a safety precaution, put something close by, because once you're close enough, you know how to get home. So if I back out of here, because I'm in an SL, the SL has a 360-degree round view monitor. So while I'm parked, if I hit the camera button, I can see here out the front of the vehicle, utilizing a camera that's in the grille. I get a beautiful view of some of the buildings here in Dartmouth and a little bit of the harbor. On the right side, again utilizing the front camera and the backup camera, I get the views there. My 2 side cameras, and I'm going to roll down my window here and demonstrate, utilize cameras underneath the side mirrors. Those 4 cameras stitched together give you a 360-degree round view around the vehicle. It's like a bird's eye view. No, we don't send your own personal drone up above you or use a satellite to track you. So if I hit it again, now on the right side, I get a view down the passenger side of the vehicle. And if I'm going to park next to a curb, if I line this up right with the curb, I am 6 inches from the curb. Makes it really nice and easy to estimate where you're at. I'm going to hit it one more time to turn that back off and get back to our navigation system. On the audio, I do have AM, FM, satellite, Bluetooth, USB, auxiliary, CD, satellite radio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I've got lots of features for my audio, and as we'll see in a minute, you can fully control all of that from the steering wheel. Really, really nice and easy. Our main menu simply looks like this, and it is fully customizable. Again, right from in the settings, I can customize my home menu to show which widgets are going to pop up. Next up, we're going to have a look at the main driver's console, and then we'll do another quick check on the outside of the vehicle. Alright, looking at my steering wheel, it's the same traditional wheel that we're used to with the Murano. Over on the right hand side, I've got my cruise control. Now, it does have the adaptive cruise control as the 18 did. However, a new upgrade that Nissan has made to the cruise control on the Murano, which now falls in line with the Rogue and the Qashqai. If I turn my cruise on and look up beside my temperature where it says 5 degrees Celsius, I see everything shows up for my adaptive cruise. So I've got my indicator here that tells me my cruise is on. As soon as I set my speed, that's there. And I've got my distance right there for the adaptive cruise control. Now if I turn that back off, and instead of just pressing the button here, I'm going to press and hold for a couple seconds, and we're going to notice it changes. This is just normal cruise, not adaptive cruise control. So it's no longer going to readjust to the speed of the vehicle in front of me. I have to be fully aware and fully in control of what's going on. This is a really nice touch because the Rogue and the Qashqai have had this ability since adaptive cruise was introduced. This is the first year that the Murano has this feature on it. If I look over on the other side of my steering wheel, from the bottom up, I've got the volume for my radio. Right above that, source is going to change the source of my audio. So that will allow me to pick what I want. So when I hit it, right on the screen there, I see AM, FM, SXM, which is satellite, and auxiliary. Now if I have a device plugged into one of the USB ports, or I've got Apple CarPlay or Android Auto or a CD, those will all become options here, and it will allow me to select them as well. As soon as I find what I want, I go down and then I press the OK button, and I can see on the screen here, which is my home screen, as well as over here, it's changed the source of my audio. We're going to skip this button here for a second because I want to spend a little more time on this. That's for our driver assist display. Our OK button is here. Tapping up or down on that, now I'm going to look, I'm on preset 2, and it tells me that right up the top here. If I tap up, I see I switch to preset 3 and 4 and so on. If I go down, I go back. So that gives me the ability to go through my presets on satellite radio and AM FM radio. If I'm streaming through CD, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth, or USB, that button will skip tracks. Right here, this button here is going to answer any phone calls that I have. It's also going to hang up at the end of a phone call. My voice recognition button is going to allow me to make an outgoing call. Now, the other thing I want to point out, when you are on your maps, I can go in here and I can set my destination. However, once I start driving, these buttons are all going to gray out. It is a hazard to try and set your navigation while you're driving. However, using our voice recognition button, I can set my navigation all by voice while driving, keeping my hands on the wheel and my eyes on the road. It's a really nice feature to it, especially if you need to do it while you're on the fly. That way you don't need to pull over to do it. Getting back to this button here, we've got our shadow box with arrows on either side. It's going to take us through the various screens that we can program up here. I've got my home screen, which just shows a compass, digital speedometer, and my radio. I've got one related just to my radio. This is pertaining to my navigation. There's my averages, and I'm running a little high on my fuel economy because I've been doing a bit of idling at this point. This vehicle has run for a total of 1 hour since it's been reset last, at only 15 kilometers, so it is going to run a little bit high. There's just my fuel economy. Driving aids. So this vehicle is equipped with automatic emergency braking in the front and blind spot indicators on the side, as well as rear cross traffic indication on the back. I will go over those in much greater detail on my delivery videos. Tire pressure shows up here individually once you start driving for each wheel. We can come to this screen to review any warnings after we've cleared them. And then we've got our settings screen here, and I change a couple settings on this, and again, I do go over that much more detail on any delivery videos that I do. And then we're back at our home screen. Finally, down here on the left, we've got a few buttons I want to cover. We've got our trunk release here. So if I press and hold that for 2 seconds, that will open up the back, the same as the kick motion activation or pressing the button on the key. This button here will turn off traction control. I highly recommend just leaving that alone unless you're familiar with driving with it off. You're in an all-wheel drive vehicle, you're going to have traction when you need it. This button here I mentioned earlier, we were going to talk about this. This is my heated steering wheel button. When the light is on, the steering wheel is going to warm up. It does get very warm. It will stay on for about 30 minutes, at which point your vehicle should be good and warm, but you can turn it back on just by hitting the button. We have memory seats over here. So once I get my seat in the position that I want it in, as well as my side mirror, I can just hit this button here. I hit set, and then I can press 1 or 2, and now my memory seat is set. So going forward, if someone else has been driving and the configuration is moved, all I got to do is hop in, press 1, and everything goes back to my setting. Now, because of the memory seats and the power seats, the moment I turn this vehicle off and go to get out, if the seat is not already all the way back, it's going to go all the way back to make for an easier exit on the vehicle. As soon as you get back in and turn it back on, it's going to go back up to that last position that it was in, unless you hit one of the buttons first. You can also tie these buttons in to the 2 key fobs, so that using the key fob to unlock the vehicle will also activate the memory seats. Looking up above here, so Nissan has made a little bit of a change to the panoramic moonroof that's on this. Previously there was one button, and a double click on it, which is what happened very frequently to most people, would not only open the screen but would then open the roof. So they've separated the buttons out. I have one button strictly for my screen, and if I do that, I notice a neat little feature on it. It comes across and stops right where the seam is. If I press it again, it goes all the way. I'm going to stop that and reopen it, and again it stops on the way back. with this one here. So because my moonroof is closed, if I press down, it's going to tilt. If I press down again, it will close it off. If I press up, it is going to open my moonroof. I can stop it anywhere along the way or let it open all the way. Pressing down will close it as well. So it's a great feature that Nissan has separated these two buttons out and made it very simple so you don't accidentally open the moonroof when you're only trying to open the screen. One of the last things on the interior is our auto dimming mirror with HomeLink. So this mirror is going to automatically dim if I get somebody behind me with bright lights. Whether it's a truck that's up high or somebody's just got their high beams on, this will automatically dim for me. And I've got HomeLink, so I've got up to 3 garage door openers that can be set on this. Very simple to set. It's in the owner's manual. There's a couple different ways to attach it. Follow through that and you'll get everything all set up. So there we have the gorgeous new Murano, fully refreshed. Beautiful new look to the grille in the front of it. Really nice. Maintains its really aggressive but really nice lines on it. This is going to be a great vehicle. This is Nissan's luxury SUV. It's going to drive like a luxury SUV. It's going to feel like it. It's got all the features of a luxury SUV. It just doesn't have the cost of a luxury SUV. So if you want luxury that's going to be as comfortable as any other luxury vehicle on the road, but a lot easier on your pocket, this is the vehicle for you. Come on in to O'Regan's Nissan in Dartmouth, ask for Robert Ty, and we will get you into one of these amazing vehicles and have you driving out a very happy customer.